Hello, English 3, and welcome back to our Passion Project unit, or Argumentative Writing. So today we're going to be learning about a few things that will help you as you move into writing your essay drafts. Because this is an argumentative writing unit, one of the things in the rubric that is going to earn you a lot of points is how well you build an argument. So we're going to be talking a bit about that today and some of the things that you need to do and some of the things you need to avoid doing. So firstly, if you go into Google Classroom, there's going to be a post that says how to use Rhetoric. And this is a TED Ed video. It looks like this. It's a pretty quick watch. It's 4.5 minutes, and it talks about some of the different ways that we can use Rhetoric, specifically the different appeals. If you haven't heard of those before, they're called ethos, logos, and pathos. And I want you to, after you watch this video, jot down a bit that you learn about each of those different appeals, and then jot down ways that you can use each of them in your writing. So ethos is about credibility. Now, we won't be using I or any first-person verbs in this paper just for professionalism, so I don't want you to maybe talk about your credibility, but think about the research you're using and the things that you're using to support your argument. How are they credible? Who are those people, and why should your reader listen to what they have to say? Then think about logos, so logic or reason. What are the factual things that back up your topic? What are the statistics, the numbers, the data? Additionally, how are you building an argument with your organization or other logic? How are you breaking that down so that your reader will agree with you? And then there's pathos, which is probably the easiest one, as it is the appeal to emotion. So what are the emotional connections to your topic? Why would someone have an emotional response to that they would want to, that would convince them to agree with you and what you're saying? So those are the three, and I want you to just jot down, thinking about your essay topic, how you could use all three of those. And I would encourage you to try to incorporate all of them, because that will help you get all of the points on that argument portion of the rubric. Then after that, we're going to do a little activity with logical fallacies. This is in a post that just says logical fallacies, and this is from Purdue Owl once again. And so logical fallacies are, as we see, a common error in reasoning that will undermine the logic of your argument. So they can either be illegitimate arguments or irrelevant points, and they are often identified because they lack evidence that supports their claim. So remember, we're working towards making claims, supporting them with evidence, and explaining how that evidence supports our claim. And so there are a few different ones here, such as slippery slope, hasty generalization, and lots more as you go down. And what I want you to do for this assignment is choose one of these, and then go ahead, and there's 3 questions that you need to answer. So the first one is to find another example of the fallacy that you choose. So for example, if we do slippery slope, rather than just using this example here that is from Purdue Owl, I want you to find another example of this fallacy. This might be something you already know from reading it, or it may be something that you need to look up in Google and find an example of. Then you need to think of it in relation to your essay. So for your essay topic, do you see this logical fallacy ever being used? You might not, but just think a little bit of some arguments you hear about your topic. Do you see, for example, for this one, the slippery slope being a part of arguments either for or against your topic? If it's against, you could actually use that as a counter argument by breaking it down and naming the fallacy and saying why it's wrong. Then you're going to just explain what the fallacy is in your own words. So not just copy and pasting what Purdue Owl says, but thinking, how would I explain this to someone else who asked? And that is all you need to do to submit on Google Classroom for that. I've set it up so you should be able to look at all of your classmates' answers. That might help you learn about all of these, as you will lose points if you use a logical fallacy of some kind in your essay. So you're going to want to try to not use any if all possible. And just in general, it's a good practice because unfortunately after this, you're going to see all the places that other people use logical fallacies. And unfortunately, often people in power or leadership roles may use them. And so it's always a good idea to be aware of those things and kind of teach yourself so that you can be both a better person and a better citizen in our world. So I want you to be very familiar with those and also very familiar with those 3 appeals. The TED Ed video mentions at the end that it's important not only to know how to use them, but also how to know when they're being used on you. So that's kind of why we're going over all of this, and it's going to be very important for building that argument in your essay. As always, if you have any questions or need any help, just let me know. I am just an email away or a private comment away. If you have extra time today that you'd like to spend on this class, you may want to start working on your essay drafts, as those will be due on October 29th. In addition to that, there is also going to be vocabulary 3 exercises on Google Classroom, so look out for those as they will be due on November 5th. All right, have a good day.